Hello, this is a screencast for section 2.5 and 2.6. Section 2.5 is on Lewis diagrams. The learning objective is represent a molecule with a Lewis diagram, and the essential knowledge is just one thing, understanding how to draw Lewis diagrams. So we'll practice with carbon tetrachloride. So in a Lewis diagram, we want to show how all the atoms are connected, what types of bonds, and we want to show all the valence electrons too. So it starts with counting the valence electrons. So carbon has 4, each fluorine has 7, and there's 4 fluorines. So that gives us a total of 32 electrons that need to show up in the Lewis diagram. So the next step then is to start off with a structure. We want to place a center atom, and that's the first one listed, unless it's hydrogen, first element listed in the molecule. And then you want to connect it to the outer atoms with a single bond. So you just want to put 4 fluorines around the carbon with a dash in between. And the dash represents a single covalent bond, so it's 2 electrons that are being shared by both atoms. The next step is we want to give the outer atoms the octet rule. So that means we want to put 6 electrons around each fluorine, and we want to add them in pairs. So lone pairs of electrons, 3 sets of those around each fluorine. The only element that you don't do this for is hydrogen. Hydrogen has the duet rule, so it only needs 2 electrons, and it gets those 2 electrons from the shared pair. All right, so now each fluorine has 8. The next step is if there's any extra electrons, you want to put them on the center. So if we count the electrons in the structure right now, there's 8, 16, 24, 32. So that's all of our electrons. So in this case, there's no extras to put on the center carbon. And the last step, you want to check the center atom to see if it has the octet rule. And if it's short, then you would take a lone pair and turn it into a shared pair. But in this case, carbon already has 8, so it's all set. So that one's done. Next, we'll try a polyatomic ion like nitrate. Now, the charge on the polyatomic ion will affect the electron count. So in this case, we're going to add 1 more electron because of the -1 charge. So we get 5 from nitrogen, 6 from each oxygen, and then plus another one. So that gives us 24 electrons that need to show up in the diagram. So you place the center nitrogen, connect 3 oxygens, give the outer atoms the octet, like so. If there's any extras, they go on the center, but we have 8, 16, 24, so again, no extra electrons go on the center. Then the last thing you do, make sure the center atom has the octet rule. So right now we have 2, 4, 6. Nitrogen has to have 8, so we'd want to get rid of a lone pair and turn it into a shared pair. So now we have a double bond right there. And then the last thing, because this is a polyatomic ion, we want to put brackets around the whole structure and indicate the charge in the top right. There. A couple exceptions with Lewis diagrams that you want to know about. There's only one center atom that you have to worry about having less than an octet, and that would be boron. Boron is something that can just have 6, and it can be stable. So that's one exception there, okay? You can also have center atoms that go higher than 8. Most elements stick to the octet rule, but if you have an element in the 3rd period or below, they can go up to 10 or 12 because they have d orbitals that can be occupied. And 2.6 is on resonance and formal charge, and this deals with Lewis structures also. But the learning objective is represent a molecule with a Lewis diagram that accounts for resonance between equivalent structures, or that uses formal charge to select between non-equivalent structures. So the essential knowledge, the first one is resonance. And resonance happens when you have a mixture of single and double bonds. And what happens is the double bond just moves from place to place. It resonates back and forth. So if you're asked to draw resonance structures, you just draw the same structure, you just move the double bond around from place to place until you get all the different possible combinations. In this case, there's only 2 different combinations for O3 ozone. The other essential knowledge is formal charge. And formal charge is determined by the number of valence electrons for an atom minus the number of electrons that the atom has in the structure. And the way you get the number of electrons it has in the structure is you take the number of bonds and you add the number of unbonded electrons. So it's half of the shared pair and all of the lone pair count towards that atom in the structure. So for example, we have SO2. So a couple different possibilities for SO2. So there's one possibility of a Lewis structure for SO2. It meets all the Lewis structure rules. Everything, all the electrons are there. Everything has the Octet rule. Here's another possibility. This is another possible Lewis structure for SO2. All the valence electrons are accounted for. Sulfur can have more than 8 because it's in the 3rd period. So in this case it has 10 valence electrons, but that's okay. Now formal charge is used to determine which is the best Lewis structure, as in which one is most similar to what it's probably going to be like in real life. So what we want to have for a formal charge, the best structures will have all formal charges of zeros for all the atoms. But if you have to have a negative formal charge, you want it to be on the most electronegative element. So we want all zeros, but if there is a negative, you want it on the more electronegative element. So we can look at formal charges for all these. Oxygen has 6 valence electrons from the periodic table. Now in this case, this oxygen, it has 7 in the structure. 6 from the unbonded pairs, and it gets half of that shared pair. So it would be 6 minus 7, so this oxygen would have a formal charge of -1. This oxygen right here would have a formal charge of 0. The oxygens down here would have formal charges of zeros. Sulfur, it's in the same column as oxygen, so it also has 6 valence electrons. But in this case, this sulfur has 2, then 3, 4, 5 from the structure. So it would have a formal charge of +1. This sulfur would have 2 from the lone pair and then 1 from each bond, so it has a total of 6 in the structure. So this would have a formal charge of 0. So this structure, the bottom one right here, since it has all formal charges of 0, is the better of these 2 Lewis dot structures. So that's how you determine formal charges, and that's what they're used for, to determine which Lewis structure is the best representation. So that's all for today. Hope you're doing well. Have a great day.